Perhaps you can tell by my more laid-back look today that we're just going to be having another chill spirituality and astrology chat. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is a community for you. As I said in the beginning, today's video is going to be just a chill, chatty video about various topics and questions towards astrology and spirituality that you guys asked me on Instagram or here on the YouTube community post. I decided to do this week because one, my energy levels have been a bit lower, so I'm sorry if my voice is a little bit like scratchy or quieter. And then we have the holidays this weekend, and I can already tell by the numbers on my channel that everybody's very busy with family. A lot of people have plans going on, so everyone's very quiet for the most part on YouTube. So I wanted to release something a bit more relaxed, so whoever wants to watch it can watch it and learn a few things about, you know, astrology and spirituality. All in all, I believe we have about 8 or 9 questions to answer or topics to talk about, so I'm very excited. Thank you guys so much for asking them. It makes me really happy when you guys talk to me, so thank you so much. Be sure that you're following me on Instagram if you aren't already, so that way you can make sure you don't miss these things, or keep a lookout for community posts, so whenever I post stuff like this, you can be involved and ask me what you want to ask me. Let's start with the Instagram questions. Question number 1 is, how satisfied are you with this past year? This is a really hefty question because personally, I think 2021 was a very challenging year for me. I don't know how it was for other people, but 2020, you know, everybody talks about 2020 being very challenging, but for me personally, 2020 was extremely peaceful, stress-free, like a lot of positive things just happening to me and making me positive mentally. This year I had a lot more mental and emotional challenges come up than I did in 2020, and it made it harder to persevere through and to keep going when it comes to YouTube and everything. I absolutely love everything about the direction my channel is going in, and I'm so super thankful for that, but it does not come without a ton of hard work and a lot of mental obstacles and challenges. And when I look back at like my memories on Instagram and stuff, I actually had quite a few moments this year where I had to let you guys know about something going on, such as like the cockroach infestation in a new apartment that I moved into, about like certain emotional things I was going through personally. There was just a lot that I vented to you guys about, but of course with some limitations. I didn't vent about everything because I do value certain parts of my privacy. But man, if you guys have been following me this whole year, you probably have seen how many times I had to get on Instagram and on the community posts and let you guys know that I wouldn't be able to upload and everything. So thank you all so much, first off, for sticking with me. If you're new, I'm still very thankful for you too. But if you have been here for this past year, then you definitely have seen me go through a lot, I feel like. Maybe I'm just being dramatic, I don't know. Maybe it didn't seem like much to you guys, but me, I look back and I'm like, dang, I really like told them a lot of times that I wasn't going to be able to upload and I was going through something. So thank you so much for your patience and for all of your continued support. I really appreciate it. But how about you guys? How satisfied are you with 2021? Like, how was 2021 for you guys? Leave it in the comments down below. Number 2 says Venus retrograde. So like I said, you could leave topics or questions that you want me to cover in this video. So I guess let's go over the topic of Venus retrograde. So this is the talk of the astrology town right now, is Venus retrograde, as every retrograde is, because you know these are very powerful times energetically. And Venus retrograde, honestly and truthfully, I like it better than Mercury retrograde. I don't know if that sounds weird, but but here's why. So Mercury retrograde, you know, we're dealing with the planet of like certain forms of communication, and it's an air planet. It's very air focused, even though it does rule over Virgo as well. Virgo is often mistaken as an earth sign also. So it has a lot to do with like technology, certain points of like intellectual knowledge, communications, and during Mercury retrograde, a lot of technology can go crazy. A lot of us can have a lot of miscommunication issues, whether it's like our phone has issues or we just verbally cannot communicate the way that we usually do. When it comes to Venus retrograde, we're dealing with the planet of material matters, and the material matters are pretty much anything we deal with externally, but especially relationships and finance. When Venus is retrograde, basically, to put it into as simplest terms as I can, you may notice a lot of breakthroughs, realizations, or obstacles when it comes to any of your relationships or financial matters. And this doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It can be just any of your partnerships, any intimate relationships such as your close friends, your close family, etc. And then when it comes to finance, it can revolve around your career. It can revolve around something happening in your life that sets you back financially. Like maybe your car has troubles or something like that. So at this time, you may be noticing a lot of those types of things happening. And the reason I say I like it better than Mercury retrograde, I guess, is because this is a beautiful time for crazy epiphanies in your life. It's really a time where a lot of things that you haven't been able to let go of yourself are actually being removed for you. Like you no longer have a choice and it's being removed for you because it's been keeping you back. And that's a good thing. Or any obstacles that you're going through are very much extremely necessary obstacles. There's a lot of energies going on with the other planets right now that are adding on to this whole entire Venus retrograde theme. And if you want to know more about those, you can head to my Patreon where I do weekly in-depth astrology readings. So as far as Venus retrograde just in general goes, I hope I covered what you wanted me to cover. Third, how to use your chart to better yourself. So this is a very loaded question to answer in a Q&A type video, but ultimately, like my goal with my channel is to try and teach you how to better yourself by learning about yourself astrologically. That's why if you've been following me, or even if you're new here, then you'll find that in my astrology placement videos, there's a lot of, from what I've seen, there's tons of information out there about every astrology placement. You can probably watch my videos or anyone else's videos and get along the same lines of the same information about your placement. But I also try to tell you guys in every video, every placement video, how you can empower yourself if you have that placement, or you know, certain things that you may struggle with and things you may excel at, so you know how to better work with that placement. Because it is good to know that like you have certain tendencies, but what to do with those tendencies, you know? And that's really what I try to do with my channel. And that is how I've used my chart to try and look at myself and see myself more objectively, so I can analyze how I can better myself, how I can improve in certain areas of life. For example, I have a lot of air in my chart, and I've noticed that I have a tendency to be, I guess, lazy because I get very bored of certain things very quick. And this is something that I struggle with, and I say that it's kind of a struggle because you do need to stick to some things, you know, like you need to stick to a routine, or you need to get certain work done. Like you need to have some level of focus in your life. And so me realizing that I have certain placements that cause me to have a lack of focus starts to guide me in a direction where I can figure out how to have better focus. Okay, where is it that I kind of lack, and where can I start to improve my tendencies? All in all, long story short, I think that is the best way to use your chart to improve yourself. You know, I recommend mainly focusing, if you have you don't know where to start, on your rising sun, moon, Mercury, and Venus, because those are going to be the planets that really dictate your immediate actions and your some of the most prevalent parts of your life are going to be dictated by those planets. So yeah. This one said, love your videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So now let's go to the community post that I made about this. The first question says, do countries have certain sun sign attributes? That's a really interesting question, actually, because there is actually like geographical astrology that you can study. And all in all, geographical astrology deals with how you may, like your energy may interact with certain parts of the world. Maybe certain areas of the world might be better for you to live in or for you to excel in your career at, etc. I have not studied up on geographical astrology, and something that a lot of people don't know who don't study astrology is that there are so many branches of it. There's actually medical astrology, geographical astrology. I don't know what the correct like terminology is for it, but I guess therapeutic or psychological astrology, which is I guess where I kind of focus more of my energy on. But there are many different branches of ways that you can use astrology, and one of them is studying the geography of your astrological makeup and how certain parts of the world may affect you. But when it comes to countries having different sun sign attributes, even though I don't have the most educated answer for this question, I would say that if you see like a difference between certain countries' sun sign attributes, I think a lot of it can come from the way that they're raised. Because an American Pisces will probably be very different than a Japanese Pisces, for example. And I think even though their core may be very similar, because, you know, certain placements have the same core, but the way they express themselves will be very differently. And when we come up in a certain household, in a certain environment, and in a certain culture, it greatly affects the way that we display our sun signs. So I think it's important to keep that in mind in case you've noticed that different sun signs from different countries like really showcase themselves differently. The next one says, what stone crystals do you always have around you, and which ones go with the zodiac signs? Wishing you peace, love, and blessings to you. Thank you. Wishing you exactly the same and sending you so much love. So I can tell you right now that one of my favorite crystals to keep around me, and I have it on me almost all the time, is clear quartz. And this is my little clear quartz necklace that you guys see me wearing in like so many of my videos. But I love clear quartz because it basically is meant to keep your space clear, like your energetic space. And it's supposed to enhance your intuition because it keeps your energetic space clear. That's the simplest terms I can put it. But I also really enjoy amethyst. Amethyst was one of the first crystals that I ever had. And the reason that it is so like, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I'll tell you my story with amethyst. But when I was younger, my dad really loves seeing like museums. Like if we go on a little road trip, he loves stopping by museums. He's a Virgo. He really loves stopping by like even the littlest museums, like rock museums and stuff like that. It just fascinates him. So whenever we would like stop by these museums, a lot of them would have different crystals and stones and everything in them that came from certain areas or certain local areas or whatever. I was too young to know exactly where the crystals were sourced, but I just know that these little like nature-oriented museums always had them. And one of the ones that they always had was amethyst. You know, it's very common. It's probably one of the most aesthetically popular crystals. But even though there were other crystals around, every time we would go to these shops or these museums, I would always be drawn to amethyst. I thought it was so beautiful. And I just always wanted it. I always wanted amethyst. So I always have amethyst by me. I keep it actually on my tarot deck. And then when I do certain rituals, especially for moon rituals, then I like having my amethyst in my hand whenever I'm meditating. So amethyst and clear quartz are definitely my two biggest ones right now. I do have a few others, but I haven't like built a close enough connection with those to really say that those are the ones that I recommend, or those are the ones that I really stick close to. And as far as which stone crystals go with the zodiac signs, so it's kind of interesting because I've kind of seen a variation in where you get your information, but I recently got my like, I guess a textbook, an astrology textbook, if you will, and it kind of covers what certain elements are connected to the zodiac signs, like herbs and crystals and stuff like that. And I haven't dove into it yet, so I don't have the answer for you just yet. But I do know that there are certain energies that connect to certain zodiac signs that come from the earth, such as certain crystals, but I don't know what they all are just yet. It says, completely random thought. Do you attribute certain bands to zodiac signs or listen to an artist that gives a specific house vibe? For example, I see Ariana Grande's Cancer Sun in many of her songs. I'm not sure if that fits under a chatty video, but it's something I've wondered before. LOL, happy holidays, happy holidays. And absolutely, that's a great question and a really fun question too, because my mind is, as an astrologer, my mind is always analyzing everything and how it connects to astrology. So yes, I do look at certain artists and think like, yeah, this artist is definitely very Aries vibes or something, you know? And yeah, Ariana Grande, you know, I don't know if all of you watching know, but she's Cancer. And I can understand why you hear Cancer vibes from her music. But especially now that I feel like when an artist dives deeper into their music, like they start to expose more of themselves, that's when you really start to see more of their inner placements versus just their like sun and rising. But for me, for example, Jhené Aiko, if you don't know, she has been my favorite artist for like 11 years, something like that. It's been a long time. I've pretty much seen her from the like very beginning. I think that was like 11 years ago when she released her first mixtape. But she's very Piscean vibes, very Piscean. Even if I didn't know she was a Pisces and that she has so much Pisces in her chart, I would be like, this is definitely a Pisces vibe, like no doubt. So I do think about that. And then when it comes to, you know, because even though I can listen to a lot of different types of music, so when I listen to certain K-pop, I'm like, yeah, this K-pop or whatever is definitely very like air element vibes, you know? Like I get very Gemini vibes from K-pop music because it's just like fun. It's not something that is too serious most of the time, and you can kind of just have fun to it, and it's usually pretty positive as well. So I just get Gemini vibes from that, and so on and so forth. So 100% I do relate certain bands to certain zodiac signs or certain artists. And this goes the same for a lot of things. I'll think about a show that way. I'll be like, this is a very Scorpio show, you know? But anyways, I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right, the next one says, sister, can you go over some spiritual and emotional healing tips and ways to raise your vibration? I just want to let you know before I answer this question that I do have a couple good videos for you to watch. And for anyone watching this, if you're wondering something along the same lines as her, then definitely check out the playlist. It's called like the spiritual playlist. I'll have a link down below, but I have a lot of like spiritual topic videos that I've released throughout the past like year. And for this specific question, I think that my shadow work video, which was recent, and then my how to raise your spirit or how to raise your vibration easily is another video that would be good to watch because I provide ways to do that. Also have a living mindfully video that I think would be really good for you to watch. So yeah, those 3 videos would be great, but just the whole spiritual playlist that I have in general of my videos will be extremely helpful to you and to anybody who's watching. Lastly, we have a comment says, looking flame emojis. Thank you. And definitely a topic on spiritual guidance, like interpreting certain signs to guide you to things, decisions, etc. So this might potentially make another very good spiritual video for me to do. But in short, I will just say that signs is kind of a difficult topic, because in order to see signs, you have to be in touch with your intuition. But at the same time, you have to also realize that if you're looking for signs, then that's already a confirmation of what your intuition is telling you. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can think of an example. Like say, I feel like one of the easiest examples is people try to ask the universe if they should stay with somebody, if they should like break up with somebody. So say you're thinking about that and you're like, man, I just don't know if it's gonna work out, and I think that like we should break up. I don't know if I'm feeling it or not. Oh, I need a sign, you know, I need a sign. Well, you're feeling that way for a reason. Unless you're very in your head, then usually you have like a sinking feeling inside of you that for some reason it's not going to work, or it's not working, and your intuition's trying to tell you that. But you're looking for a sign, and you may see a sign, you may see multiple signs because you're looking for them, but that's already a confirmation. The fact you're looking for signs is already enough confirmation for your intuition to act on what your intuition is telling you to act on. I know that this sounds like, as I'm saying it, it sounds kind of confusing. So I hope that it's not that confusing, but yeah. So my main piece of advice would be to just open yourself up to your intuition. And this is something I struggle with. I'm going to be honest, because like I said, I'm very air dominant in my chart. And even though I have a Pisces sun, so it's really the battle of the two sometimes, because I definitely feel strongly about certain things. Like I feel like I have a strong gut feeling, but then I start to analyze the heck out of it, and I start to analyze the heck out of my environment, and I start to lose that. But I try to remain open to my intuition. So one of the biggest signs that has helped me, or one of the biggest things that has helped open me up to like what I'm feeling, is just looking for angel numbers. I feel like angel numbers are one of the most simple and straightforward ways to start like interpreting signs, because angel numbers are something that can pop up around us very frequently. And if you don't really know what they mean, it's easy to Google, like, what is seeing 222 over and over and again mean? You know, it's easy to Google that and you'll get a bunch of good answers for it. So I hope that helped answer your question, but that might be something I have to create a video on, because it's actually a pretty good topic to cover. And if there is any requests that you guys want me to make a video on, please leave them in the comments down below, because, you know, I might just do it. You never know. Overall, I really hope you guys enjoyed this little laid back chill video. I'm wishing you all the best for the holidays. No matter whether you're spending it alone or with people, use it to feel gratitude. Use it to feel gratitude, rest and reflect for the year ahead. Get yourself prepped, because 2022 is right around the corner, and I'm so excited for you guys to come into 2022 with me. And I just want to tell you guys how thankful I am, how amazed I am with how far this channel has come. And I mean, obviously I couldn't do it without you guys, and you guys are a huge reason that I've kept going through all of the mental and emotional obstacles throughout 2021. So thank you so much for being patient, supportive, compassionate, and loving towards me as well. And I promise to always be the same to you guys. So until I see you in the next video, thank you so much for being here. Like I said earlier, be sure that you go and follow me on Instagram if you'd like to keep up with my personal side of the journey. That's where I post most of my updates and everything at. So be sure you head over there if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Happy holidays. Adios.